In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why you're failing to achieve your goals. There's 3 really common pitfalls. You're probably falling into one of them. And I'm going to break it down for you so that you know exactly how to avoid them. And stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a set of glasses that are going to give you 20/20 vision into your future. I'm Dave with the Street Smart Entrepreneur, and I know after 28 years of business how frustrating it can be to work really hard at things and feel like you're not getting anywhere and feel like you're stuck, and you begin to think, what's wrong with me? But I want to let you know there's nothing wrong with you. You just got to learn to spot these pitfalls when you're setting your goals and how to avoid them. Pitfall number 1 is not knowing what you really want. A lot of times, in helping people think about and achieve their goals, they'll sit and stare at a blank piece of paper for a while. Or they'll come up with something like, I want to make $1 million. Because they say those things because it sounds cool, but it's not really connected to who they are. And so figuring out what we want is a very, very difficult task. But there's a tool that engineers use. It's called root cause analysis, or the 5 whys, to figure out the root cause of what went wrong. So in other words, the car crashed. Why did it crash? Why number 1. The brakes failed. Why did the brakes fail? The caliper failed. Why did the caliper fail? Well, the master cylinder failed to deliver fluid. Why did it? And usually it only takes asking why 5 times till you get to the root cause. And so instead of letting a problem occur and using the 5 whys to figure out why you didn't achieve your goal, use that to figure out what you really want so that you can set a goal that is achievable and is what you want. Because if it's not connected to what you want, you're going to give up on it. It's not going to be worth going through everything you got to go through. So in other words, you can use it to say, okay, well, I've got a goal to take my wife to Paris. Okay, why do you want to do that? Well, our romance is lacking in our life. Well, why is that? Well, our lives are so busy, we don't spend time with each other. Well, why? And you break that down, and maybe what you end up realizing is that you really want to reignite the romance in your life. You really don't want to go to Paris. And so maybe instead of going to Paris, you go to counseling. But and then you go to Paris. But ultimately, by doing this, you're going to discover the real goal that you want and how it's connected to you in a more meaningful way. And it's going to be more achievable and meaningful to you. All right, the second biggest pitfall is not having a written plan. Over the years, I've heard a lot of people say that you should set goals, you should write them, and if you write them down, you're going to be more successful, and you'll even be more successful if you look at them every day. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but that falls way short. That's sort of like saying my goal is to get to California. Well, just get in the car and start driving, and eventually you'll get there. Or just drive west and keep driving west. Not a very good plan. Writing a plan is like having a GPS. You put in a specific address, you not only know exactly how many miles, you're going to know exactly how long it's going to take you to get there. You're going to have turn-by-turn directions. You're going to know exactly where you are every inch along the way. Now, when you're writing out a plan for your goals, don't overthink it. And try to write out everything, but you want the big mile markers, because a secondary pitfall of not having a plan is that we begin to stall when we don't know what the next thing to do is. So when you have a plan and you write out what you need to do, and you need to be here by this date so that you can move on and do these things, it keeps you moving towards your goal. All right, the third biggest pitfall is setting goals that are too far out there. So let's say you've set a goal for you want to lose 40 pounds in a year. Now remember, if you've never set goals before, goal setting is something that you have to learn, and it's a skill that you have to develop. So instead of setting something that's out there for a year, set a goal of, I want to lose 10 pounds in 90 days. This way, you might get off to a little rough start as you figure out everything. But let's say you hit your goal in 90 days. Well, now you've hit your goal. Whereas if it was to lose 40 pounds in a year, you would go after 90 days, well, I'm only a quarter of the way there. You wouldn't have anything to celebrate. So if you set a small goal, you hit the 90 pounds, then you've got something that makes you feel really good. Because remember, goal setting is a skill, and skills take time to develop. So you start small, you hit that goal, it boosts your confidence, and you're ready to take on the next goal. Okay, I promised you a bonus that I'm going to give you something that's going to give you 20/20 vision into your future you. And this is what I call the lens of becoming. It is taking the goals that you write down, and before you put the effort into creating a plan, look at these goals through the lens of becoming, of the lens of who am I trying to become? Do these goals align with who I'm trying to become? So think about it like this. If you say, I want to have $1 million by the time I'm 30, well, the path between now and 30 might involve you getting married, starting a family, you've got kids, and what becomes important to you is you want to become a great mom or a great dad, and you want to become someone that is building memories into your kids and teaching them life skills. And making $1 million becomes irrelevant at that point. So think about who you want to become when you're setting your goals, and you have a much better chance of your goals aligning with what's going to be fulfilling to you, because we are geared as humans to find fulfillment in who we become, not in what we achieve or what we acquire. Because there's a lot of people that have achieved great things and have not been happy. Or they've acquired great wealth and amassed a lot of stuff, but they're not happy. So align your goals with who you want to become, not with what you want to achieve or acquire. All right. Well, now that you know the 3 pitfalls and how to avoid them, if you have found that this is helpful and you would like to do something that's helpful to me in return, there's a couple things that you can do. One, you can hit the like button. That helps me know that this content was valuable to you and that I'm on the right track. You can subscribe to the channel. That does the same thing, and it also lets YouTube know that you're finding this content valuable. And then also, drop me a comment if you are stuck, if there's a pitfall that you'd really like me to talk about. I would love to create content that I know is going to go directly to helping somebody. So please do that below. Thanks for watching, and look forward to talking to you again soon.